There's a good one. Come on there, babe. Come on. Come on out there. Come on out there. That's how you flip one up right there. Pull them on out there with that rod, that old Fitzgerald meat stick. Big jig, heavy mat flipping. Now all you do with that, put your D-bomb on, 4/0 BMC heavy cover flipping hook. You want to get down in there and beneath it, just like you're sitting under a roof. That's a decent one. That's about 3 1/4. But you can catch some big ones doing that. There's a good one. There's a good one. Oh yeah. Come on, baby. Yeah, baby. That's a good one. All right. Yeah. That's a hoss right there. Woo. That's a pretty fish. Look at that thing. Look at that. That's a stud. All right. Missile baits, deep bomb. Fitzgerald, big jig, heavy mat flipping. Ain't no joke. Look at that thing. About a 7. Yes. 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 Probably, if I could only do one thing for the rest of my life, fishing wise, this would probably be it. I love to punch, and I got addicted to it a few years ago. A buddy of mine named Rich Howes actually kind of taught me how to punch, and then I forgot everything he taught me pretty quick, so he didn't like to tell everybody he taught me. But I've tried to, it's really hard to make yourself concentrate and focus and do right with a punching bite, because when they hit it, sometimes they hit it like a freight train, and you just, initial reaction is to drop and pop them, and that's the worst case. Don't do that. I've done it, and I've gotten lucky and caught some big fish doing it, but you don't want to do that. Sometimes you just get excited and it happens, but if you can think about it, don't do it. All you want to do is just lean into the fish when you feel the bite, and that a lot of times will get them started out of that thick mat before they even realize they're hooked. Versus if you drop them and pop them, they feel that, and then they're like, and then as soon as you hit them, sometimes they've sank a couple feet, you know, whatever, and they're even harder to get out. So, and another thing, like this, JT Kenny taught me this, but if you drop 1.5 ounce, 2 ounce weight, and it's a 14-inch fish, that'll drop its mouth open a lot of times. And, you know, in tournament situations, you need those fish too. So, this is the setup I use. Fitzgerald fishing, Fitzgerald rods, big jig, heavy mat flipping. It's a 7/8 heavy. It's bad to the bone. I've been using it for a couple years now. I like the 7/8 heavy range. That's kind of my favorite for punching. I don't like to go any longer, and definitely no shorter. 1.5 ounce BMC tungsten, missile baits D-bomb, BMC 4/0 heavy duty flipping hook, and then 65-pound braid. I use Versa braid and I use Sufix braid. They're both pretty much the same, great braids. So I've gone back and forth between them for years. But with a rod, you know, everybody got into the parabolic bend there for a while, and this has a pretty good bend to it, but it's not just a crankbait rod. You know, you still need a lot of backbone. So this rod gets them on out of the mats good, but it does load up and give you what I'd like to call like a semi-parabolic bend. You know, you want it to be still stiffer than just parabolic. So it gets the fish out, springs them out of the mats, and a lot of times with this setup, I mean, I don't even try to go get them. A lot of times they're way back in the stuff anyway, and you can't, but I just haul them on out of there. If you keep pressure on them, most of the time, as long as your line doesn't fail, and it doesn't for me, and then your hook doesn't fail, and it doesn't, you're going to pull those fish out, you know. So just keep pulling on them and get them on out of there. But This is a really good setup for punching heavy mats, any kind of mats. And you know, a lot of people get hung up on hyacinth or hydrilla, and those are great, but sometimes it's not there, so you just flip junk, whatever's there, you know, whatever kind of overhead cover you can find. And I remember Brandon McMillan and Randall Tharp, when they went toe-to-toe in that Okeechobee tour event the first time around, they were flipping just blown-in dead reeds, and nobody else really bothered them because they were so focused on hyacinth and hydrilla. So anytime you can find anything floating, you know, caught up in some lily pads, whatever, like what I did when I caught that big one yesterday, that's all I was doing, is I flipped over in some just trash and caught that good fish. So that's kind of the sum of it. This is a Super Duty speed spool. I don't know if I said that. It's been a good one for me, 7-1 to 1, and there you go.